What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my doggy, Martin Skirsis, for coming through round boosting at the coin. So, we've got an update in the 10 Whittaker / Ben 10 versus Liam Cameron. Duckgate, okay? Here's the leaked news. Yeah, IFL TV. Alright, industry dons, industry plants. We got the industry plants putting you man on right now. Tell a lie, this was leaked to me officially. This is the YB TV leak. You see it here, right here, 100%. So one of my informants close to the situation put me on with this info, and it says the following. New contract for Whittaker, aka 10 Whittaker, aka Ben 10 versus Cameron. Still not signed. Wait for it. Oh, YB, we heard this already. No, wait. Here's the okie doke. Lee Eaton, who is Liam Cameron's manager, has revealed to us that a contract has still not been sent over for Whittaker, aka Ben 10, aka 10 Whittaker versus Liam Cameron. And that he has heard rumours, here's the barge. Get ready for it. Yeah, get ready for the Johnny Barge. So, let me start again. Essentially, Lee Eaton, Liam Cameron's manager, has heard rumours that people have been told to start looking for an opponent to replace Cameron. The news comes after. Okay, we heard of that rubbish before. So IFL TV have one of my informants spoke to Cameron's manager, and they're hearing now they're shopping for a stiff. Okay, they're shopping for a stiff. And what worries me is we already know Frank Warren's been on the stiff warpath. What are you talking about, YB? Moses Atalma. Tell a lie. I've messed the bars up, sorry. I messed the bars up, man. It's not even Frank Warren doesn't manage Ben Whittaker. Whatever, man. You get the point. There's a whole bunch of stiffs knocking around. How about that? Whether or not you telling me Ben Chalon can't find a stiff somewhere? Yeah, there'll be some dude out there right now grafting away all week. Yeah, he'll get home at like 6 p.m. on a Friday evening. Bank holiday. He worked bank holiday, is the truth. The guy they're going to get in, the guy Ben Chalon is going to get in, will have worked bank holiday for damn sure. And he probably worked the weekend too. The fight's not till Sunday. So Ben Chalon and his team right now are out there shopping to find some plumber grafter somewhere. Yeah, who's working Friday and Saturday. That's what I've heard from people close to the situation. They're telling me Ben Chalon, he's got a very specific remit. Probate. That's not the right word I'm looking for here. Come on. Yeah, you know what he's looking for. He's looking for someone. He's put the call out. There's a whole bunch of man got a text today. Hey, are any of you working bank holiday Friday and Saturday? If you are, get in contact with us. We've got a fight for you. So any man out there, yeah, if you've got a job to do for the rest of this week, up until Saturday evening, they want to hear about you. Yeah? Because they want to fly you in on 10 minutes notice. That's what they're fixing to do. Seriously. That's what they want to do here. They want to get Liam Cameron out of there. That's why it keeps dragging on. This isn't going to come to an end another way. The only other way it could come to an end is if Liam Cameron cucks himself, which I'm not being funny, but I mean Frank Warren said he should stand strong by it. If you think you're going to win, and obviously fighters, well, apart from Ben 10, but most fighters believe they'll win. Cameron certainly after the first fight will believe he wins. There might be some value. If this fight falls through, it's not going to happen at all. Do you understand? It's not going to be. There's no way the losses this fight will take and whatever else, they'll just go in a different direction with Ben. This is Liam Cameron's chance to burn it into history. Now, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. If I was Liam Cameron's team, I'd be saying, listen, Frank, if I do the 10 rounds, can we still get some legal action? That would be the best outcome. Well, the best outcome would be they sort it out beforehand. But outside of that, Liam Cameron needs to understand or know, if he does the 10, win, lose or draw, can he still get some more shekels from Ben Chalon afterwards? If so, if it's the case that he can fight and then sue as well, that's great. If it turns out that if he does fight, that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? If he does get in the ring and does 10 rounds, and that invalidates any legal dispute, then it's more of a tricky situation. But still, having a win over Ben... I guess the argument is, if Liam Cameron loses, and he can't get no legal action going on, that's going to be a bit like, oh, I should have just took this money. I should have just sued his ass. But Liam Cameron's a fighting man in the day. So I wouldn't... They've got to be careful here. Realistically speaking, where's Liam Cameron going from here? Yeah. Without fighting Whittaker. We've already seen him go life and death with Lyndon Arthur. Has he got better since then? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. This British level, right? It's a bit like Dave Allen and what's his name? The Romford Bull. When you're in them kind of situations, yes, Dave Allen's more washed than Liam Cameron, but when you're at that level, that top British level, no one's under no illusions. Liam Cameron ain't going to go in there and box up Beterbiev. Or even, I wouldn't even put him in there with Buatsi, to be honest. I think Buatsi would get it done. Bottom line. So with that in mind, you've got to get in there and do this fight. In my opinion. Get in there, do this fight. And you've got to get the money from the fight and hopefully the legal stuff afterwards. To sit around, well, where'd you go from here? I mean, Willie Hutchinson. Liam Cameron versus Willie Hutchinson. But that fight will be there after this fight. I'd want to get in there and get that win over. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, you've trained for it now, innit? You've trained for it now. 10 rounds or 12 rounds. The first fight was 10 anyway. I think, to be fair to Ben Shalong, it actually was a mistake. Well, clearly it was a mistake, bottom line. The first fight was 10 rounds. The second fight, right, Ben Shalong wouldn't purposely put it up to 12 rounds. Yes, we understand it's not Liam Cameron's fault that it was a mistake. But with that in mind, Liam Cameron hasn't really lost nothing by doing a 10 rounder, because in reality that's what it was supposed to be. Let's call it a spade. He hasn't lost nothing. It's not like they're making it an 8 rounder. If they was making it an 8 rounder, you'd say, what? The first fight was 10. Why are we doing less for? But realistically, you were supposed to only get 10 anyway. So you shouldn't. Frank Warren says, well, I'd do this, I'd do that. I wouldn't even fight. I'd just sit here and legal. Frank, you're paid. Yeah, your career is sitting around collecting shmoney, collecting shekels. That's what you're paid to do. You're not in the mix like that. Yeah. So for someone like Frank Warren, whose job it is to sit around essentially, yeah, he works hard he runs around the place with his drivers driving around and whatnot. However hard that is or isn't, he's active, busy, not doing nothing really. But come on, he's doing something, right? I wouldn't call it a proper day's work. Who here would say Frank Warren does a proper day's work, man? Sitting there clicking buttons and shit. Come on, people. But either way, Frank Warren can sit there and say, from a position of, how much is he worth? 50 mil probably? And say, oh, I'd just sit around and collect some more money. Liam Cameron, does he want to be tied up in legal disputes? Who knows the ramifications for future fights? I haven't seen the contract, but who knows? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. And this is a golden opportunity to propel yourself to the absolute top of British boxing and get this win over him. In a situation where you won't necessarily have lost anything. Yeah, it was supposed to be a 10 rounder. You can't afford to be sitting around. Where's the next? I don't know how much he's getting paid, but I'd bet you bottom dollar. Since Frank Warren's advising Liam Cameron to sit and play on this 12 round business, I'm not saying that's inherently wrong, but nonetheless, Frank Warren's telling him, yeah, sit around, let's play the legal game with this dude. My question to Frank would be, Frank, can you give me an opportunity in my next fight to earn a similar amount of money for a 10 or 12 rounder? I'd guess the answer is no. What's he going to do with that? Willie Hutchinson, that's probably the best name I can think of. Knocking around, who's British level-ish. I mean, it won't be a bad fight. Is it as big as this, though? This one's captured the public zeitgeist after the first fight. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. Who knows, though? But if Frank Warren can say, listen, Liam, scrap this off. We're going to sue him. We're going to get paid. And then I've got something similar for you next. Maybe you consider it. Still, though, you've done this camp now. This camp's done. And if you think you're super confident, which, I mean, Cameron's the underdog, but I've got him. I think this fight, honestly, is a 55-45 type fight. And I lean towards Cameron. Yes, the 12 rounds are preferable for Cameron. But really, I mean, I'm not sure Ben's going to be able to do. I think he's too explosive to do 10. To do even 10 at a high clip. We saw it with Yard versus Kovalev. Yes, Kovalev is a seasoned fighter, or certainly was at the time. But these explosive man, Whittaker and Anthony Yard, are somewhat similar in their explosiveness. Super explosive. Yard's more powerful pound for pound, but you get the point. They get tired. You can't twitch like that indefinitely. When Beterbiev stopped Yard, that was what, round 7 or 8, I think. These men start burning out after 6 rounds. Yeah? So don't be... Johnny Nelson uses the frame. Don't try and be too smart. Is it too smart? Something like that. Free smart. Don't try and be free smart. You're overthinking things and trying to play all this weird stuff. Clearly, I mean, how many days are we now? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days away. And we're still doing this. And they're telling us they're looking for a plumber to fly in on late notice. Come on, people. There was one more bar I was going to tell you as well. Where is the bar I was going to tell you? Oh, that was it. Now, contrary, I went on to this Cameron's manager's Instagram or Twitter, sorry. And contrary to the claims made by IFL TV that Boxer are scouting for some proper jobber to come in 15 minutes notice, I saw this. This is on Cameron's manager's Twitter, yeah? And he's reposted this post from Boxer. So Boxer, essentially, you can see it here, Boxer are promoting, this is 2 hours ago. So 2 hours ago, Lee Eaton, the manager, reposts the announcement of the public workout by Boxer. And they've obviously got Whittaker and Cameron still in the frame, which isn't a bad sign. Not to mention, we also see here Lee Eaton and Cameron's manager puts these eyes, the corny eye, the geeking eyes out. That normally is like, look here, something's coming soon. So has something been done in the meantime? It's potentially looking at the fact that Lee Eaton's promoting the fight. If you knew that, if they knew a jobber was getting flown in 2 hours ago, you wouldn't be reposting the fake news workout. If you knew a jobber was getting flown in and your man was getting cooked, you wouldn't be putting eyes, looky here eyes. We've got a big announcement kind of thing that's been done. And I don't think Sky can afford to bring a jobber in, to be honest. This is probably, I'm trying to think, name a bigger Sky card in the last year. Think of one, go on. Clark versus Wardley. The rematch was on Saudi, so forget about that. You'd have to go probably in the last year, almost a year to the day I think it is, it's Clark versus Wardley 1. And to be honest, I'm being funny, given that they're heavyweights, I actually think this fight is in the UK, or in general, I think it's bigger. Honestly, I think because of the first fight narrative, and Ben Whittaker's got like 3.5 million Instagram followers, for example. I think this fight's bigger than that. Can Ben Shalom afford? This is probably going to be his biggest show of the year. Name me a bigger show that's likely to come in the next year from Ben Shalom. Oops. This is going to be the biggest show of the year. Can he afford to blow? Bearing in mind, we already know, allegedly, the Sky relationship's a bit funny, because Ben Shalom's shows have been stinkers. He hasn't got the biggest roster. Frank Warren's just soaked up all the talent. Can he afford to cuck Sky whilst in his vulnerable position with a late notice jobber? Is he going to want to do that? I'd have thought not, to be honest. And the last thing I'll say is it is interesting how I'm surprised really to some extent that Ben 10 Whittaker hasn't come out and said, you know what? What's all this heat for? I'll just do 12 with this plumber. Yeah? This big, stiff idiot from Sheffield. No problem. You can get 12. We ain't got to do all this. There's been nothing from him. He don't want 12. Andy Lee, he don't want 12, man. These guys are radio silent. He could have... Not that it's his obligation to. Clearly it's not. He's got a contract for 10. But he could have come out and just shut it all down. You see you big, stiff idiot. Like that. Put an Instagram, you know he loved the Instagram. Come out on Instagram saying, what's all this rah-rah for? We'll do 15. Right now. He didn't do that. He's still sitting there like, biting his lip and shit. Oh, 12. It's a bit mad really, isn't it? It's a bit mad. These guys are, come on man, you're 28 years old. Well, if you can't do, most of these, Naz was like retired at 28. Eubank was retired at whatever it was, 30. Nigel Benn retired at 30. These men been doing 12. What the fuck are you doing? kind of politicking a 12 rounder. A whole bag of man, they've been done 12 since 25, since 20 or something. Let's have a look. And the weight classes aren't exactly the same, but Eubank, I think what was Eubank? Eubank Senior was what? 160 pounder, I think. So let's have a look, for example, when he started doing 12 rounders, for argument's sake. Let's have a look at his age first. Eubank Senior age is 58 now. Let's have a look at Chris Eubank's situation. So he's 58 as of 2025. So I'm going to work out when he had his first 12 rounder. Wow, these old school man, they were doing different. Oh my god, he's been doing 12 rounds. Okay, right there. So his first 12 rounder was in 1990. So what year would he be born? I can't even tell you, man. I ain't got the brain power to do maths, man. Been up since 5, mopping floors, man. This is a bit long. Let's look at the date of birth. Chris Eubank Senior, DOB, 66. So yeah, at 24 years old, he was doing 12 rounders. So at 28, how many more years you need? I mean, 28 is long in the tooth, man. I'm sorry. It's long in the tooth to be quibbling, yeah, about your first 12 rounder. It's long in the tooth, man. What are you going to be, 35? If you're not going to do your first 12 rounder at 28, when are you going to do it? What, 30, 33, 32? Really? Oh, my first 12 rounder and I'm 32 years old? No. Get in there and do 12 rounds. He don't want it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, like the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this. Some people stop it. Bye.